In this video, we are going to personalize, test, and prep your outreach emails. Right away, you can see some personalization already happening in this email. It's pulling in first name. So when you send this email and this press release to the journalist on your list, it will automatically pull in the journalist's first name. But definitely recommend adding a fallback token. So if for some reason the journalist's first name isn't added into the database, we want a fallback there. So click add here, and then we could just put there. And so instead of like, hi, Jane, it would say hi there, comma, and it would still make sense. So definitely add the fallback options and then click add. And so if you wanted to add more personalization to these emails, you can click where you'd like that personalization and then click personalize. And then you'll have different options to choose from. So the one that I'm going to point out here is greeting. So you can add specific greetings based on the journalist itself. So this can come in handy when you already have a relationship with the journalist. Or if you want to make the email really personalized to them. So this greeting is basically set in the journalist profile itself. So if we come to the AI PR and then go to media lists and we choose the list, let's just choose Bridget as a journalist here. We can click edit contact. We'll scroll down and we can add a custom greeting right in here. So maybe we wanted to say, I loved your recent article about smartwatches and how runners are using them to improve their performance or something like that. And so you can go ahead and add like a personalization part to each journalist profile so that when you're sending an email, and so it will populate whichever greeting you added right to that email specifically. Okay, so that can be a really good way to personalize these emails. And so we can move this personalization token around so that it actually makes sense in the email. And so this would make more sense after the first name and before the actual bulk of the email. So I'm just going to add this in here so that it makes sense, and then we should be good. And now if you just want to preview and see how things are looking, you can click the preview button in the top right-hand corner, and then you'll be able to see how this email looks after you've made your changes. And then you can also preview it as a specific recipient. So you can choose it, like let's say you added a greeting to Courtney, the journalist profile, and you wanted to make sure that where you put that greeting token actually makes sense for the email. You're definitely going to want to preview it as Courtney just to make sure that it makes sense. Once everything looks good, you can exit the preview. And then if you wanted to add a little bit of structure to the email itself, so maybe it was easily scannable by the journalist, you could always edit the content within the email too. So you can always bold, italic, underline. You can change it to a heading text so that it really pulls the journalist's eye to different parts of the email, and kind of just edit it so that it makes sense for the pitch that you're sending. But then you can also send yourself a test email. So this is where you can test out the subject line and put the subject line right in here and then click send test email to your email so that you can double check formatting when it actually comes into an email inbox. Just note that all test emails are sent from pr-toolkit@semrush.com. But Real Outreach is going to use that authenticated domain name email that you've already set up. And then once this email feels good to go, you can click save. And then you're going to want to double check your recipients for the email itself. So click manage recipients. And then this is where you can select your media list. So if you have numerous media lists, you can send this pitch email to different journalists in a combination of lists if you want to reach a broader audience. You can also come back to the database search itself and choose new journalists that you would like to send this pitch to. So you would just select them and then click continue. Then you can view suggestions and definitely review the recipients and then confirm the recipients just to make sure that this email is going to the people that you want it to, and then confirm. Once they're confirmed, the next thing that you're going to want to do is add the subject line if you haven't already. So go ahead and add a subject line. You can use AI to help you generate some suggestions. And so let's choose this one. That one sounds really good. And then we have the preview text as well. So you can have AI generate some suggestions for the preview text. And now I'm just selecting them, but you're definitely going to want to make sure that they make sense together and that they make sense for your actual pitch. Once you do that, you can add the sender. So this is going to be who appears as the sender of your message. So you can select the email that you've already added with domain authentication and then the sender's name, and then click save. Once you do that, you're able to send your email pitch now, or you can schedule it for a later time by clicking add send time here. And so you can go ahead and choose when would make the most sense for you. Once you're ready to send the email, you just click send email in the top right hand corner. Or if you want to save it as a draft and come back later, we have that option here. You can also send yourself another test email from the screen just to make sure that maybe the subject line and the preview text all make sense. Once you start sending emails, you'll actually be able to see and track different email analytics like clicks, bounces, opens, all of that. So you can see how many pitches are actually landing in people's inboxes, how many people are opening them, and then that can help you with your pitch strategy moving forward.